So, hey, let's talk about price action today. So, today's topic, we're going to talk about zones. How do you identify a zone? What is a zone? And how can you use them to trade them? So, without further ado, let's get into the charts. Okay. So, according to my definition, a zone is any area in the market where the market or the candlesticks turned significantly. Okay, not just any minor turn, then you name it a zone. No, it should be somewhere significant. And yeah, so zones can be sideways, can be horizontal. So you have the market moving up, down, just like this. So these areas where the market is turning, these are called zones. Okay. Then sometimes the market just moves like this. So these areas where the market turned, these are called zones. Okay. Then you have the market that is moving in a consolidation like this. These areas in the market are called zones. So any area that the market made a significant move in the past, or an area that the market touched on but could not continue any further in the direction that it was going. Either it was going down, then it reached in that area and turned and went back. Sorry. Like there was some sort of a brick wall. Okay. So we're looking at VIX 75 on a daily time frame. Zones happen on any time frame. The higher the time frame, the more significant they are. Okay. So now we're having these zones that are being printed here. You see the first zone here, it touched in. Second as well, third in there. It didn't touch direct in the zone, but it was close to it. Then now we're at the fourth touch. So always remember to say, as far as zones go, those determine the direction. Okay, if the market is making zones that are higher than each other, like this, that means the market is in a higher time frame. Okay, and remember these zones have names. These are higher highs, these are higher lows. If the market is moving to the upside, okay. If the market is moving to the downside, then it will, if it's making something like this, these are called lower highs, these are called lower lows. Okay. So these will also give you a guide to say which direction is the market going into, as far as what zones is it making. Is it making higher highs, higher lows? So it will create a zone, turn like that, break that zone, maybe come back to retest that area. I'm sure you've heard of something called the break and retest. Then continue to the upside just like that. And if you connect the dots, it's making higher highs. Higher highs, higher highs, higher low. Higher high, higher low. So in anticipation, now you're anticipating that the market might touch down in that area. Okay. So that is how you identify zones. Why is this information important? Because in the three confirmation rule, you have the direction, you have to have a zone, then you have to understand candlesticks. Okay, so as far as the daily goes, most people right now, I can guarantee you, some people have already started buying in these areas here. Somebody has bought here. Can you capitalize on that move on a smaller time frame? Yes, you can look for quick buys. But initially, because remember, you have to have certain types of candlesticks at that zone for you to identify to say, is it a valid zone? Because I can give you an example, right? The first touch, the first time you touch, you can't take on the first touch because you don't know is it going to be valid, because it has to touch on the first. The second is for confirmation. Then on the third, look at what candle it printed on the third. It was a bullish engulfing. We could have entered buys somewhere there, and look how the market went up. On our fourth touch, look at the candle that closed into the zone and this second candle. Depending on the momentum of this second candle, maybe we might consider taking buys. But you always have to know the type of candlesticks that are being printed at the zone. Okay, so then we will go down to our lower time frames. As far as you can see, this market is still in a down trend position. Okay, why do I say that? Daily was making higher highs, right? But 4 hour, look at what it is making. Okay, it, that's why this thing is important because it will tell you what the lower time frame is doing. And hence, as you go down, you set up rules. You understand, say, oh, okay, what is the market doing right now? Well, we had that. Okay, so in prospective, where would I be comfortable looking for buys? You see this zone in here. Okay, because one, you have several zones that you have to wait. That's why waiting for confirmation is very important. Okay, so you have one, the market is making lower low. Why is it white? Okay. So the market is making, starting from here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It could be making a lower high. So only if the market does this, breaks this previous low and turns into a higher low, shows signs of rejection in this zone, that's when I can be comfortable to say, okay, this is in a biased market as far as the 4 hour is concerned. You see how you're setting up rules as you go by, and the power of understanding what the market is doing, where it is at, as you're going down your lower time frames. Okay, that is how you take it. You just don't look at one time frame and say, oh, I'm gonna buy because I'm looking at this because the daily has reached a zone. No, you have to have the time frame lower because one, you have zones that the market needs to break. Okay, so we got this red zone here, we have this red zone here, okay, and this trend line zone here. Once those two levels are broken and there's signs of rejection at this zone and continuation like bullish engulfing candles here, then I would be comfortable taking buys. Can I look for sales in this market? No. Why? Because we're at a daily resistance zone. Looking for sales will be suicidal only if the market breaks the zone below. Okay. So once you have those rules set in place, if the market continues to do something like this, if it continues to do something like this, lower low, lower high, then here it shows me signs of continuation down, then I can take my sales. Okay. So I've put in perspective of what I'm looking for. And now my job as a trader is to patiently wait. Even if you go down to a smaller time frame, which is the 1 hour, it will tell you the same story. Okay, market is making lower lows. You have to be patient. Looking at this, the 1 hour time frame, it looks like it has respected this zone. Some might look for quick sells to the downside, but usually I don't recommend doing that because we're close to a zone. Anything is possible. Not only if it confirms to say this move is going to continue, that's when I can take my sells. Okay. So that's how you identify zones and that's how you trade using zones. Okay. I hope this information was valuable. Peace. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay.